Right, hello everyone. Welcome back to Age of Nagash, which is a channel dedicated to Age of Sigmar. In this video, we are going over new news for Warhammer community that they've released. We've got army building, we've got battalions for Warhammer Age of Sigmar 3rd edition, and we've also got this lovely demon model that we're going over. This is not for Warhammer 3rd edition, this is Horus Heresy, but I wanted to show it because I think it looks awesome. And joining me in this video when we go over the most particular and most exquisite of all of the Chaos Gods is going to be the Slaanesh part when we look at the Hedonites of Slaanesh article. And join us for that, we have got Ben. So how are you doing today, sir? Thank you for coming on the channel.
Yeah, I'm not too bad. How are yourself?
Very well, thank you. I'm pretty excited. I mean, I'm wearing a pink t-shirt. Ignore the tick. That doesn't mean anything. So I'm trying to feel thematic. I've got what I call blood when I do my Soul Blood Gravelord videos, when I do Slaanesh. When you have too much fun on a Friday night, that can be produced. So we're all here in the making, and yeah, I'm doing good, man. So yes, we've got this video. I reckon it's going to be about an hour long, guys. If any of you have watched any of my videos before, and I try to predict the time of how long a video is, Ben is one who actually joined me on the last one we did a video. I think we've only done one video together, haven't we? And you joined us.
It was meant to be an hour. I was an hour and a half, and then
that was the review for all the leaked Soul Blood Gravelord stuff that went on for about 3.5 hours. And I think you stuck around for about an hour and a half, didn't you? And then you had to hit half an hour long there for it would be. But yeah, anyway, so this video, this demon looks awesome. It's going to be in resin though, so sad times. But you could make a demon print out of it. And the word bearers are very, very cool. It's my favorite Chaos Traitor Legion in Warhammer 40k, so that's a little insight for me. So if I click back, I should be able to get to what we need to talk about. Oh no, bear with me, guys. Right, how's everyone doing? So we've got Samuel saying, can actually catch you live today. Very glad to hear that, Sam. Thank you very much for watching live. I hope you enjoy the content we're going to be looking at today. Don't worry, if it's boring, I'll try and make the most out of it. I'm sure Ben will as well. He'll show you one of his nipple piercings, how much he's dedicated to Slaanesh.
Well, which one?
Which one? I mean, I just don't know how you can do so many on one nipple. Unless that's at least that's safe compared to where I've got things pierced, which, you know, maybe for an OnlyFans. And we've got Dice Sagas coming in saying, hey chaps, hope you're doing well. I believe it's Christian we've got on that account. So I hope you're doing well, mate. Thank you for joining. And then we've got Slothman saying, oh, that's neat feature. I presume he's talking about the piercings, which yes, that certainly was not the word I was saying when it was done. But after it's done, that's what I presume everyone who accountants at an area will be saying it's neat. But I'm going to get off before I start talking about that. But we've got Connor saying hi from Wales. Connor, I think you're the first person to ever tell me you're watching this from Wales. I know we've got a Tony in Discord who's from Wales. I don't think he ever told me he watches the channel from Wales. So glad to hear that. Right, so the first thing we're going to go over, and again, I haven't actually read through any of this stuff, so you're going to get my first time reaction. As always, you know, sorry if I look disappointed and just deflated. You know, if something looks shit, I'm going to say it. But the first article we've got coming up is all about going to be how the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar affects every faction, because the core rules change and that's how it affects every faction. I believe we could probably move on to the next article, but we'll keep reading just to see if anything is quite interesting that is said here. Again, a bunch of you guys are putting in the chat. Let me know your thoughts as we go through this. That's what always makes it quite entertaining as we keep going on. And if you're watching this on demand, don't forget to put in the comments. I know I haven't replied to a bunch of your comments lately, probably about 100, but I will be setting aside an hour to do that at some point soon, I do promise. And we've got Poet being an absolute legend here who has supported the channel with $2.99. If you up it, you know, maybe there'll be an OnlyFans with some piercings. But thank you very much, Poet. That is really, really kind of you. Because of stuff like that, it makes videos like this worth doing. So cheers, Poet. And I know you chuck money at the channel when we do live stuff, so it's really, really nice of you, and it's always appreciative. We got Dice Saga saying, it is indeed, I'm good, thanks. Interesting times for AOS. Always interesting time for AOS, and even if it isn't, people on the internet will tell you it's interesting just to make content. But no, it's generally interesting times with 3rd edition coming out. We've got the Rainman 614 saying, I've got two arseholes. The one on the right side of my stomach is only one that works. The one in my bum is non-functional. I mean, that just sounds like someone had too much of a good time. The Rayman is saying, so my dog and I, Don't know how that's relevant, but here we are. Right, so let's go straight into this article. So our 30-odd people watching now. So how it affects every army in Age of Sigmar. How is your army being affected on this? And hopefully not too much, so I don't have to redo those why play videos. But let us see. So events are perfectly poised for an era of catastrophic, big, explosive battles in the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. But how will your army fare in the era of the Beast? So, the new best ever Age of Sigmar core rules. Is that the first time they called it best ever, Ben? I think it is.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, it could have been like 12 or 13 times on the other one, but
they need to. It's the first time in this article, though, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
I mean, I don't know why the hashtag says new AOS, just best AOS, all the time until 4th edition comes out, where it's like, oh, yeah, 3rd edition was like, good, but, the new stuff is always better and everything else. Best ever Age of Sigmar core rules cast every faction in a new light. To name but a few of the big changes, command abilities have a much greater impact unless spells are more lethal and unpredictable, and a unit coherency changes influences how you deploy and move your army. So basically when it comes to unit coherency, that's a conversation which a lot of people on the internet have been talking about. I overall am not the biggest fan of it, just because it makes me have to play my models in a certain way. But here we are. Those are the rules. Don't like them. You don't have to play with them. So I think at the end of the day, that's my thoughts on it. What are your particular thoughts on that one, Ben? Whilst this came up, because I don't think I've really talked about it on the channel.
The coherency one it's not too bad for a lot of things, but for anything with a 32mm base or the 40mm base and a 1-inch reach, you're not going to be able to attack in 2 ranks. You're going to have to position really weird to get it in. I don't think it's ideal, but then we don't know exactly what the rules are for combat yet. Exactly. So if it's similar to 40k, where the second rank can attack, then it won't be an issue at all. But if it is, then, like say, Marauders are going to be Marauders, your Witches, Demonettes are going to be king because of the 25mm base. Oh, with that one, though, Slangors have got a 2-inch reach. It could be time for the Slangor meta.
The Slangor meta is here, and I am actually painting up a Slangor right at the moment, just to show a dedication to Slaanesh. So, I mean, this may look like the one for the Warband. There's 100 of these right next to me, so, I am prepped and ready for that. But I do agree, as someone who likes monstrous sort of infantry units that only have a 1-inch range weapon, sad times. But, we learn and adapt, and we realise with the situation with Flesh Eater Courts that we should have always just stuck to the Terror Guy situation, because it wasn't anything wrong with it. Why try and change and try and be interested and go to Crypt Horrors? But the next thing it says is, as such, we decided to take a look at every faction to examine why they deserve your hobby attention in the new edition. Each article explores one army's lore and discusses how the army operates in battle. We've also asked expert playtesters to provide some extra insights and pick out units that could fare particularly well. It might be time for you to reassess your army list. So this is what they've been doing every day lately. Like, we'll be doing the same with the Hedonites of Slaanesh later. They did it with, they've already mentioned them. So then done it with Stormcast, Oracle Warclans, Slaves Darkness, Solar Gravelords, the Hedonites of Slaanesh. I have already reviewed all those, so you can check those videos out if you'd like to. You haven't already. It says keep checking back, as we'll be updating this page as each article goes live. So tomorrow we've got the Ostrich Bone Reapers, which I'm really hoping, and I'll be happy if they say, instead of getting all these command points like everyone else is getting, like a command point for just turning up to the game, and they get a command point for being able to breathe throughout the game, it sounds like these days in 3rd edition. Hopefully, Ostrich Bone Reapers that don't use command points but still generate them will have it for their Relentless Discipline instead. Otherwise, sad times for Ostrich Bone Reaper players such as myself. And even if that's the only thing they mentioned in the article, that'd be useful. And then we've got Sylvaneth, which, good luck to them. Gloomspike Gits, Disciples of Zeech, Flesh Eater Courts, Cities of Sigmar, Ogre Maw Tribes, Maggot King of Nurgle, Nighthaunt, Seraphon, Signs of Behemoth, not Signs, but Sons of Behemoth, Fire Slayers, Daughters of Cain, which is generally turn up, Ironeth Deepkin, Beasts of Chaos, Karen Overlords, Skaven, Lumineth Realm Lords, and Blades of Khorne. Oh yeah, there we go. I was looking for the Beast of Chaos one. I just read it. I didn't click, but that's a different sort of symbol, because
there's a lot of different symbols in here.
There are. So these are probably the new official symbols for those armies maybe going forward. So Ben is also I've heard, one of the best Beasts of Chaos player in Yorkshire. So probably, I mean, I was going to say the UK, and I think we're probably still quite close to the truth. But
I think it's like 12 of us.
12 of us, it's just me, Keith, and Dave. But no, so that makes, you'll be waiting a few days for that, but that'll be exciting. It's going to give them some time to come up with something. Minotaurs with their 1-inch range. Whoa. They're already 1 inch on the greater weapons, aren't they?
They're only 1 inch of any of the weapons, yeah.
Not any weapon, despite the great axe being twice the size.
I know. But like the best goals are only 1 inch range as well, so but now on 32mm bases.
Yeah.
So the UK heroes doesn't really work well with them either.
Exactly. But so anyone in the chat, let us know what your thoughts are about when you get an update on your faction in one of these articles. What are you going to be hoping to hear? That's generally news and not just someone saying everything we already know. So it then says to keep up with all the latest updates and for information new. Okay, go to their newsletter. I don't need to do too much advertisement for them, although I always get tricked into it. So that's the first article, very short, just telling you when they said we're going to do an article for every faction. This is just a whole article just saying that, yes, we are going to do it, even though we've already mentioned it before. But that's fine. We needed one of these to be quick because there's 3 of them to get through today. So this is the first one. That's going to be quite a big chunk. And this is all going to be about how to build your armies going into Warhammer Age of Sigmar 3rd edition. So everything's being changed up and especially looking a little bit like 40k. So it says core battalions, rules, shake up, match play, army building in the new edition. So we go straight into this. It says in the past weeks we've shared the lore of Sigmar's ever hopeful Dawnbringer Crusades, witnessed the face-off between some truly frightening wizards, and even announced when you can pre-order the dazzling Dominion box. We continue our barnstorming tour of the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar today with a look at how you can build your army for match play games. So to do that, we need to explain a few rules, mechanics, including core battalions. First, let's get into it. And a very happy Il there. Il's always happy in AOS. So it says new ways to build your army. So the upcoming edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar retains the 3 ways to play the game: open, narrative, match play. Then firstly, it says match play is used most often for competitive situations like tournaments. It presents a spread of armies building challenges with a focus on balanced army compositions and similar victory conditions for both sides. And then we have a lovely pictures here of the Slates of Darkness. So it talks about battle packs. So before you choose a mission, you need to figure out which battle pack you'll be using. Battle packs bundles together a suite of rules, introducing restrictions, determining the size of the battlefield, and dictating the number of units you can bring to the fight. Okay, so I was first wondering, what is a battle pack? But here we go. We're used to this by now. They just changed the layout. So it says the contest of general battle packs in the core book is one such option designed for match play. It's been carefully crafted to make your games as balanced as possible. Take a look at this chart to get a sense of how it works. So we are used to this, but it has changed because usually it was just 1,000 points, 2,000 points, or 2,000 points, 500. But now we have 750 points, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, and 3,000. So with that, I'm just going to try and figure out what's changed. Obviously, when it comes to 750, that's something brand new. So that's 1 to 2 leader units. So that's just like a leader unit, so like a hero for the most part. 1+ battle line, 0 to 1 behemoths, 0 to 1 artillery units, 0 to 1 ender spells, 0 to 1 reinforced units. So that's something interesting we'll get to. And then it says 0 to 1 under strength units, and then 0 to 100 allied points worth of units. And then it says the recommended minimum battle size is 30 by 44 inches, and the recommended minimum number of terrain features is 4. So obviously there's been a bit of change here. Ben, do you think it's good now that they're showing different ways to play the game and sort of like helping you? Because I've done it before where you you might not have 2,000 points of an army that you want to test out, and you're doing 1,500 points, and then your opponent's trying to figure out, well, should we do like 3 battle line units? Should we do 2 battle line units? How many leaders can we have? Like, so it's just written in format. So it's
yeah, I do like that, and also like the 750 points version as well, because I know there's a couple people that haven't played 40k previously that have decided to get into the Crusade with a 500 point thing. So hopefully that's very similar to AOS. They're like, oh, it's 750 points. You know, there's actual rules for it now. I can try and get into it, and the more people get into it and try it, the better.
Exactly. I completely agree on that. And like I said, there's a few things here. And when it comes to the board sizes, obviously play whatever board size you want. It's just recommended. Like when the new size of 44 by 90 inches, which I believe is not 6 by 4, what we're used to. I'm just going to play on the old standard size board, so you don't need to worry about any of that. Just if you ever go to a tournament, that's will be the requirements for that. It then says the Contest of Generals battle packs allow you to build your army using a new type of battalion called a core battalion. So core battalions, there are now 2 types of battalions in Warhammer Age Sigmar. So it says the War Scroll battalions you know and love are for units of renown and respect a specific focus, a special leader, or additional training. On the other hand, core battalions are intended to balance out various units in exchange for distinct abilities. So it sounds like, I thought from what I heard is that, because I haven't read this, it was like, all the battalions, they're scrapped. These are the new battalions. That's how it works. So it sounds like we still have the ones in battle tomes, and then we still have these ones.
With that one, I think that for this specific one that we're talking about, so it's the Contest of Generals one, that you can only use the core battalions in the Contest of Generals. But there's going to be a couple of other rule packs where you probably can use the old War Scroll battalions.
Got you. And I'll be honest, I'm a fan of this. As someone who's never really had an army with good battalions in it, bar what's one of my armies like? Slaves of Darkness have only one really good battalion, and it's Nurgle, and I find Nurgle really boring because that's what everyone plays in Slaves of Darkness, so I never use it. So someone who's never really had low drops, I am looking forward to being able to do that with these core battalions, shall we say. So it says core battalions. You can include any of the following core battalions in your army. If the battle pack you are using says that you can use the core battalions, so good point you mentioned there, Ben. So we have 6 core battalions by looks of things. We have the Warlord, the Battle Regiment, the Grand Artillery, the Vanguard, the Line Breaker, and the Command Entourage. So this sounds like detachments for 40k. However, unlike detachments for 40k, and this is very little knowledge I know, I believe that's literally how you basically build your army, is by several detachments or one detachment, whereas this is a lot more this is a lot more optional.
It's where it looks like,
yeah. So exactly. So it's not the same as 40k, but I'll be honest, I quite like it because it's pretty flexible. We'll go into some rules here. We've got Chris G saying, great video, congrats on the 6k. Thank you very much, mate. That's very kind of you to say. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So it says every army in a match play event will have the same set of core battalions at their disposal, which further evens the playing field. So how does it work in practice? Yeah, because I completely agree with that. Because like I said, battle tomes, I think they even said it, there was the haves and have-nots. So it feels like it just makes it a bit more even as they can make it. So it says to take a core battalion, you just need to select the number of units from each required category. They're marked out in the black with the grey units being optional. So we have the unit icon, so just so you can refer to what they are. And they are all pretty much, no, not pretty much. They are all in Stormcast format, so it's much easier to read. So we have the Lord Citizen on Dracov, but basically that just means a commander, a leader. So when you see this chap, and then this one here, just means sub-commander, so a leader with a wound characteristic of less than 10. Okay, so that's interesting. So again, I'm not going to do I was about to do it, but I'm not going to do loads of correspondence from pictures here to up here because, we can do a whole other video on what is the best battalion at a later point. Then you got troops, artillery, and monsters. So it's pretty straightforward. But the sub-commander is one that I didn't pick up straight away, so that's quite interesting. It then says, have a look at the icons below. Each type of core battalion, they tell you which ability you get for filling each one out. For example, if you take 1 commander and 2 troops to complete a battle regiment, you get the unified ability, so which grants 1-drop deployments for the entire core battalion. This is especially important in a match play game since the side that finishes deploying first steals the initiative. So check out the other benefits you get for forming core battalions. So the unified one is just 1-drop deployment, like we said. So that's the one with the fists going up. We then have the expert. So once per battle, 1 unit from this battalion can receive the all-out attack or all-out defense command without the command being issued and without a command point being spent. So that sounds really good, because I mean you can use it on any unit. It doesn't sound like you need to be in range of a totem or a hero or the leader of the unit or anything like that. And then we will know that's a +1/2 hit or that +1/2 save, which I think.
Yeah. So with that one,
yep.
Because it's not been. It says without the command being issued and without the command book being spent. As I know in the previous articles we've had that you can only be affected by 1 command per turn. So does this mean with these ones you can be affected by 2 because this isn't actually being issued?
That will require an FAQ. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. That will require.
If that is the case, that means like once per turn, some of these battalions just get really smacky.
Yeah, I think you won't be able to do that. I think they'll, but that's a good point. It's a good point. But I think always, I don't know. Nagash is like, I have a save of 0. Oh, that sounds bad. No, actually, that means you have to do like at least -2 rend or maybe -1 to actually do anything. So yeah, I see where you're coming from, but I reckon they won't allow it. But if they do allow it, hey, it's Games Workshop, so it wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, it's because I thought about this one because it's because it said without the command being issued. So is it like it's just a natural ability? Because I mean, if this is the case, then with the one that the expert's part of, which is the line breaker one, which is the 3 monsters and the leader, you could get a Gorgon with 2s and 2s if you use the Doom Ball command ability as well.
Well, there you go.
Which that's nasty.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm all for nastiness as long as everyone gets it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like a Gorgon being really like smashing, maybe a Hydra, throwing a few.
Yeah, or Crabdis. I mean, the expert thing I work with quite well with the Sigmar, like the old Dark Elf monsters, because they count as battle line as well. So
yeah, the Hydra and the Charybdis,
yeah,
one with different heads. Yeah, like, and I've wanted those things to be good since, or just not even good, but just considering like taking them for, I don't know, a long time now, considering I don't actually own any. But I'm just going to quickly look to see what else we got on the chat. Some people put some stuff. So we got Matt saying, do you think there will be a points cost associated to each core battalion, like the War Scroll battalions we have now?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they'll be really expensive. But I don't know. Like, I think they'll make them quite cheap. Like so it encourages you to take them. Like, I don't think they'll be 200 points or something. I think they'll be 100 to 150. If they're below 100, I'll be surprised. But because actually, no, like, this is changing my opinions because I'm just reading through and you don't get all the initial benefits of all the battalions. Like, you get to drop first, you don't get the. So I reckon they could be below 100 points. I reckon like 80 points or something, maybe. Who knows? So the next one is Magnificence. So when you pick an enchantment for your army, you pick 1 extra enchantment, which enchantment is magical artifact, presumably.
Have we had any of that confirmed yet?
No,
because I know there has been people saying is an extra command ability as well. It's just an enhancement for your army.
I mean, I'll be honest. I missed the bit where it said that you can only use 1 command ability on 1 unit in each phase. Like, I missed that.
Use it on multiple units, but 1 unit. Say your unit.
Can't have 2 command abilities put on it in the same phase.
Yeah.
I missed where they said that. I connected the dots, and people in the chat told me. But so they might have said that, but they might have confirmed what enchantments are. But I don't think they have. We then have the EP saying, seeing the icons all being Stormcast and seeing the big dragon icon for monsters. Loki confirmed Dragon Monster for Stormcast Eternals. I'm afraid that has Star Drake. So, yeah. But hopefully dragons at some point soon. I mean, if you look at the monstrous rampages, they're all pretty much dragon icons, which means that, you know...
One's the cockatrice. So that's not going anywhere. That's the old resin model staying forever.
When that gets updated, people with like 26 of those things. How many do you own? Two. Okay. I mean, it's probably more than what's in the southeast of England. But like...
No, southeast of England. That's the guy that has like 20 of them.
Yeah, that's great. I'll tell you what, when plastic comes out, he's going to be kicking himself and saying that the old model was better. So the next one we've got is Slothman saying, battalion abilities did not expect. Yes, I think it's cool. I'm a fan of them because I thought they would all be the same. I thought they'd all just be, right, you can drop first, you get the artifacts, you get the command point. Like, and I know it might not be as good because you're given different things and not all of them, but like I'm more of a fan of that. So like, kind of makes it interesting if you want to take different things. I just want to give a shout out to Arnold, who has given €1.99 to the channel. Thank you so much for that, Arnold. I know you and Poet often chuck some money this way towards the channel, and it really does help out, and it makes these videos absolutely worth doing. So thank you so much for that, Arnold. I hope you're having a great rest of your day. And Arnold was telling me about in Holland where someone just, this one shop had just got like 100 like boxes of Curse City just turn up.
Oh, I saw it on Reddit earlier today,
yeah.
That's amazing.
Like, that's where they've all been. But we have, okay, I'm just going to read through some of these so we don't get lost. Arnold also put a picture of an elephant in the chat. Don't know why. Amazing. I agree. So then we have Mega T Cash then. I bet they are free. They could be. But again, Games Workshop honestly couldn't surprise them these days. The next one we've got from Edict Command saying, how will core battalions affect the existent Warshcore battalions? Because one of the core battalions benefits is that it's a 1-drop. So I presume, so it kind of does, like going back to what Mega T Cash said as well, and what other people say, like there's kind of hint that these will be cheaper in points. Because you're not getting as many benefits. But because you can say like the expert, so you kind of get that if you take a normal battalion because you get that extra command point, which you could spend on that, which I know is not exactly the same, but so I don't know what these points are. They could put them ridiculously low, or they could make them stupidly high, or they could make them somewhere in the middle. I think they could be 80 to 120 points, maybe something like that.
I think there's probably one that's going to be a bit more expensive, which is the one that gives you.
Okay, shall we? We'll read through these and then I'll get back to the chat. Okay, so the next one is called Slayer. So once per battle, one unit from this battalion can receive the all-out attack or unleash hell command without the command being issued and without a command point being spent. Was unleashed hell? Was that the shooting one?
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Was that the Overwatch one?
No. Unleash hell is the +1 to hit during shooting foes.
So Slayers is kind of similar to Expert, but a bit different. So
I believe,
that's all right. Obviously, ideally, if you've got shooting in your army, but it doesn't have to be, I suppose. Then we've got the Strategist. So once per battle, when you receive a command point at the start of the hero phase, you receive 1 extra command point, which just means kind of like there's a possibility to gain like 4 command points or something like that if you go second, etc. And you do the shouty thing, what the hero can do, heroic action. So
you're right. Unleash hell is the like you can shoot when you get charged.
Do we like that? I can't remember. Was that good? Was that
it's pretty good?
It was all right. Yeah. I mean, I can't do it in my armies, but that's fine. So
I
anyway,
I can do it with Ungor Rages or Sigor.
Tell you what, the Sigor. I mean, if you roll hot for that thing, I mean that's going to annoy someone.
Yeah.
So the next one, the last one, is Swift. So once per battle, one unit from this battalion can receive the at the double or forward to victory command without the command being issued and without a command point being spent. So we don't know if the rule is going to be exactly the same, but it's interesting to know that at the double and forward to victory, which one of them is the 6 to run, and the other one is reroll charges, which I think is in that order. They're not going anywhere. That's cool. Presumably. So yeah, that sounds pretty nice. I'm just going to catch up with the chat. So we've got Henry saying probably not free. It gets a free command point and all, at least worth 50 points. but can we overlap War Scrolls and core battalions? I'm going to say no. And that's, that's obviously I have no say in the matter, but that's what I reckon. Then again, Games Workshop went crazy with endless spells, so I don't know what they want to do, but I would say from a balance point, no. So because you can't do that normally with battalions, you can't normally overlap War Scroll battalions. So otherwise, like, I don't know, the Uruk War clans could probably take like one battalion, like all their like Iron Fists and the Ard Fists and all that. They could probably overlap that massively. So then we've got Mega T Cash saying the War Scroll battalions are no legal for match base, supposedly, until the book drops. It's still rumors. Yeah, I mean, none of us know. I mean, I can't remember the exact quote what Doug from 2 Plus Tough did, but when he did a funny video the other day, he said something along the lines of, listen to me on the internet. I need to tell you exactly how you should feel on the 3rd edition, which we don't know anything about. So I think that's a very good point. And, we do, like, if there's any rule that, I'm not saying it does, but there's any rule that you disagree with or you think, oh, not too sure how's that going to work, don't worry. It'll put your faith and trust in Games Workshop and they will deliver 30% of the time. So going on to the next one. Okay, yes, that was not that. So I don't play AOS for multiple small units. That's fine. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it depends what army you play at the end of the day. Like 25 mil bases, like you were saying earlier, Ben, are going to be pretty solid in this because obviously they can pretty much ignore that coherency, which means they don't need to be multiple small units. And then Arnold saying he made that video about the 100 Cursed City boxes, and that's pretty cool. Just try and steal as many as you can. And you'd probably take about 10 of the windows. So anyway, going back to this, we have got unit sizes. So in order to promote a more balanced army composition, the initial sizes of units are a bit different in the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So perhaps you noticed the line from the Contest of Generals Battle Pack that mentioned reinforced units. These units are simply double the size of the minimum listed in the pitch battle profile. If the unit has the battle line, if the unit has the battlefield, if the unit has the battle line battlefield role, you can reinforce them twice. Second time lucky, making them 3 times the minimum size. Now you can still run large hordes as long as you don't exceed the available slots for reinforced units. So that's pretty interesting. That's a big change up, isn't it? Like,
yeah, no, it's interesting. There's been talk about some of the minimum sizes changing. So I think Flesh Eater Courts has mentioned for ghouls going to 20s rather than 10s. But there'll be no more of the units of 20 Chaos Warriors, like just not being able to move from objectives. So that'll be interesting. And then it might make like a lot of armies make a bit more sense. I mean, Hedonite's been one of them where it seems to be all put into the MSU.
Yeah. It does. I think this, I don't want to lie, to me, my lizard brain, this is something that I'm going to need to play with until I fully understand completely what it all consists and means. But
a lot of my armies, most of the 90% of the time, I don't hit my reinforcement limit. So it's not. I don't see it being much of an issue for many armies. Because you get 4 oversight, you get 4 units that are like above minimum in a 2,000 point army.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I understand. Yeah. Yeah. Because
So like, so it'll take you like, what's your general like OBR army?
The general what army?
Your Bone Reapers army. I mean, what do you normally take for it?
Like units of. Like 10 Catacross like Death Riders or
what
are the other things? Because like even Mortar Guard, I don't go like units of 40 and stuff.
No, you probably go a couple of units of 20, unit of 10 Cavalos, Death Riders, and then that's only 3 points.
Unit of 6. So a unit of 6 stalkers, they come a minimum size of 3. So by doubling the size, what are they?
It's 1 point.
They're what?
That's 1 reinforcement point.
Because they're max size.
Because they're max because their min size is 3. Because you've added an extra 3 to it, it's 1 more reinforcement point. So you're 20 Mortec Guard if they come in 10s. If they go into 20s, that's 1 point.
So every time you up your unit size by the minimum size of models in that unit, so like Mortec Guard going from 10 to 20, then you have to spend a reinforced unit.
Yeah, that's correct.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ben, for educating me on maths, basically, in Agency Preferred Edition. But no, that makes a lot more sense.
It's just toy soldiers with maths. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's like the Battleshock phase all over again. It's like, oh god, like I lost 3 models. I need to roll D6, and then someone says, "Well, you're -1 from there." It's like, just stop making this so confusing. It's just, but yeah, no. So that's cool. Before I say that's cool, I mean, like, I think I like this because it forces you to play your armies differently. Or maybe when I go to actually have a game and I go, got that tick tick tick, and I sort of like, I'm free. But what the fuck? Like, until I get to that moment, it sounds all right. Maybe. Like, what are your thoughts, Ben?
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. I mean, like, I've gone through a few of my older lists, and like, I've only got 4 reinforcement points on, say, 1 or 2 lists. I've not gone over on most of them. So,
and your like Beast of Chaos is quite what I describe as a lot of the time a horde army.
No,
so,
it's not. It's Beast of Chaos is MSU.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, so it's like it's all about board control. You don't want to really get into many combats with them, unfortunately.
What about my masses of zombies and skeletons? That will be affected, won't it?
Probably, but I have a feeling that the skeletons might go to min size 20, or because that's what's in the box to start with.
Well, you think they'll up it from
the zombies being 20 is pretty fine at the moment because they're on 25 mil bases still as well.
Yeah, that's true. Right, so let's see what the chat says about this. There's been a lot of messages pop up, so I think people have got opinions on this one. So Arnold is saying, how does that size of units affect the Sons of Behemoth? It doesn't, does it? I don't think so, because they're battle line.
Well, no, they still got to spend the reinforcement points.
Yeah, but yeah, so it won't affect them any more than any other army.
No, so
yeah,
because it's 1 for 3 being that, I think you can take 3 as a maximum for the Sons of Behemoth.
Yeah, so you can still go to unit size.
Yeah, so if you take a unit of 3, that's 2 reinforcement points.
Yeah, because the Ale Guzzler, the probably not called I think they're called man eaters now. Yeah, they obviously they're the battle line. They can go up to 3. So
they can go up to 3. So you end up with, if you take 2 units of those at 3, then that's your 4 reinforcement points, and you're not going to get much more Ale Guzzler man eater gargants in that either in 2,000 points.
You're not. So I don't know any of this has been play tested properly, so I'm not going to say it balances itself out, but stick with it and hopefully it'll be all right. But it seems all right so far. There's going to be the odd cases where it's like, how does this work now? Just don't burn your Dark Elves is all I'm going to say. So the next one is from Henry saying, sad noises when I can't run 180 crop blocks. Well, you can have 60 maximum in a unit, wasn't it? Oh,
yeah, they're in 20s.
They came in 20. Yes. Oh, that's gonna make someone I know sad. That's one of the odd exceptions, I suppose. Maybe become minimum sizes of 60, and then you won't have a problem. And Games Workshop
could be minimum 30.
It could be, yeah. We could, yeah. That could be a. It could be a like I think after we get the General's Handbook, I think when we see if unit sizes go up, then we can make more decision on this. But from what I've heard, there'll be like kind of a points increase for most things in the game of about on average 15%. So we're going to be playing with less toys anyway. It sounds like, to reflect the smaller size boards. I mean, I'm sure you're happy that your Beast of Chaos maybe go up about 15%.
Hopefully, yeah, I know it's going to be miserable. Hopefully, Slaanesh doesn't go up 15% because that'll probably make me cry.
I honestly think this, like in Games Workshop, there's like, I don't know, there's one manager there who's just like, still remembers when they fought against Slaanesh when they first got released. It's like, oh, I remember going against 3 Keepers Secrets. Make it another 100 points. But we'll see. Then we've got Elikman saying, so will it still be viable to run my giant bricks of 60 stabbers in the Gloomspite Git? So like we said with Henry, no, but unless they change the minimum size of the units, or if you want to play narrative, there we go, or open.
Well, you can still run your 60 stabbers though. That's just 2 command points. That's just 2 reinforcement points. You can still you can run 100. You could run 2 blocks of 60 stabbers if you wanted to.
You could do, but just when
and
it's
everything
like
else would have to be MSU though. I think which probably would affect the Gloomspite a bit is when it comes to squig herds, because the minimum unit size is 5, and they're not that expensive.
That does hurt. I'll tell you what though, it does help. Like sometimes, like if you looked at Chaos Marauders when they were like units of 10, and then now they went up to units of 20 with the Slaves Darkness book. People are like, I preferred it when I was units of 10 because it was easier to take for cheap battle line and stuff. Now you're happy it's units of 20. Minimum, so exactly. It's the same with zombies. I was like that with direwolves. I was like, oh, hang on. Why has it gone from units of 5 to units of 10? Now I can't screen properly anymore. Right, well, the screening thing's completely changed anyway. And units of 10 are better because then you can take 30 puppies and have a great day. Right, so then the next one we've got is William saying it will cost you 2 reinforcement points, I think. Presume about the stabbers. I hope so. I misread to think we could triple the max size. So 180 grots to flood the board. Yeah, so it will affect that. Claire is saying it does seem that the coherency and reinforcement is really punishing big units. Coherency, as long as you're 25 mils, you'll be all right. You know, if you're Blood Reavers or something like that, or Bloodlayers, you know, tough luck. Basically, 32 years. It's like when Mortec Guard came out on 25s, everyone who wanted to buy Ostrich Bone Reapers were like, oh, that's pretty good because I thought there'd be 32s. That's pretty nice.
28s. I thought there were 28s. That seems to be the standard for a lot of things now. I mean, the Blitzbarb Archers are 28s.
I definitely play at the right base sizes. Right, on to the next question. So Claire is saying, especially with the max 1 command bit. Yeah, I mean, I really do want to like mirror what 2+ toughest said is like. There's stuff that I'm reading that I'm not liking either, but I think, you know, let's see where it takes us. You know, we've all had good and bad first dates. Hopefully this will be a good. I heard recently someone I spoke to, they were shot on by a seagull on a first date. I don't think it's much worse than that. I don't see any seagulls. So awful stuff. Awful. Was shot on and then was asked to pay for the meal. Like, oh, that's really bad. Good. Yeah, that in the same day. It wasn't me, by the way. So GC said, okay, I need to remember what this is all about. So you said it's not, can't remember that's responsive. With reinforcements is pushing more MSU. The reinforcement size does look like it is pushing more MSU, or just maybe not. No, it's definitely pushing more MSU. Like there's no way around that.
To be fair, with that one, it does depend on what they do with the units' minimum sizes. I mean, if they put most of the core like battle line in books up to 20s as the minimum, that's not really pushing MSU anymore. It just means you've got to choose what big units of your elites you want.
Yeah, I mean, Warhammer Fantasy, no experience in it, apart from when I was a kid and I didn't even know what D6 meant. But from what I remember, it was like you only have, gonna get it wrong now, 50% core units, 30% elite, 20% special.
No, so
hero.
So this one, that was no. It was 8th edition. Was you had to have at least 25% core units.
Okay.
Then you could have up to 50% special, and then you could have up to 25% rare.
It feels like this isn't as restrictive as that, but it kind of feels a little bit like that. Like it's encouraging you to not go all out with monsters. Well, not monsters, but like monstrous infantry. With that, so Slothman is saying that application for Doctor, Arcane, and Medusae could be interesting. And
I think they've got a 2-inch reach though, so I don't think it's that bad. I think the spear ones have got a 2-inch reach.
Yeah.
So and they're only on 40 mil bases, so they're still attacking 2 ranks. So I don't think they're even that bothered. I mean, units of 10 Stormcast, that might be an issue. Because they've only got a 1-inch reach on most of their weapons.
Yeah, that does sound like a problem. I would just like to say Blood Knight's 1-inch reach and very big bases problem. I don't care for the Medusa. I fought against them enough time. I was so excited to fight against Medusa. I was like, yes, snakes. I only ever see the witch elves. And I was like, fucking hate snakes. The next one, thank you for that, Alex. I would just add, if you are watching this. Andrew was just saying they didn't say that it was locked into 5-man squads. Guessing it's 3/5/10s as bases with 6, 10s, 20s, and 9s and 15s. What was?
I don't get that.
Andrew, I will say he did this. I'm catching up the chat now. This was from 12 minutes ago, so if we did miss what you're on about, apologies about that. So Poet is saying, I think this gives a indirect buff to elite units and gives them a slight tick for being elite in building your army. Yeah, I really feel like it gives that. I don't know so much it gives them a buff, but it makes your elite units definitely feel more special. I suppose that there's going to be more unelite units, but no, there's not really that because it's just more MSU, isn't it? And Infinity Serpent again is saying MSU board game are trash. I don't know. I've had great fun with MSU units and stuff, so I haven't got a problem with that. But I do like huge hordes of skeletons and stuff, so maybe I'll contradict myself. Who knows? William is saying that sad though now Sons of Behemoth can not do 9 baby gargants and 1 mega gargant now.
They probably could because they seem to have stopped the discount on horde units, so you could probably take 3 separate ones. You just probably couldn't have 3 units of 3. You end up with 2 units of 3 and 3 units of 1.
Or play 3,000 points, as it turns out. So you've got that. Infinity Serpent again saying they flatten a war game experience. So this is an MSU. So they flatten a war game experience in order to find force balance, and such balance just makes a game tedious and less enjoyable. I don't know. I'd say less enjoyable in the terms of fought against a Yeti army that had 21 Yetis and had 7 units. And I have never been so royally fucked up in the arse by that. But it was quite amusing to watch. So, again, I wouldn't like to repeat the experience twice. But it was quite funny.
Have you played against the ridiculous 500 wound list yet? That Noblar list that keeps getting put up in the Discord.
500 what?
The 500 wounds from like all Noblars ogre list.
And did D3 Noblars get eaten to make sure the other ones don't run away back?
Pretty much, it's just all Noblars. It's crazy.
Oh, God. I mean, I reckon the first couple of combat phases are great because you charge and you kill loads of them, just mince them, and then by the time you get to about turn 3, you're like, I'm done now. Yeah, I haven't even killed half of you. I just don't have enough damage. And then Infinity Serpent is saying that all armies just got more streamlined, and Games Workshop just invalidated 3 years of purchases. I don't know. I don't know about that, Infinity Serpent. To be honest, I think there's still ways to play your beloved armies. It's not all MSU. So, you're still getting there's not as many big units like we've already been talking about, but you still get 4 points. It's not that you're paying for those points, as far as I'm aware.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could run an army with 160 Marauders in, and that's fine. And that's a hell of a, or 160 Clan Rats. That's tons.
Yeah, when I did Skaven as an example, I didn't go more than 80 Clan Rats, but I did then take 40 Stormvermin. But that's still possible. So where are we? Yeah, I'll just put it there. And then Arnold is there's so many. Thank you very much for your questions, by the way, but we are a little bit paused. So Arnold is saying might need to get more man crushers if 3,000 points get more play. I don't think 3,000 points get more play. The boards are getting smaller. I know it says that you don't have to have a small board you're doing 3,000 points, but 3,000 points just takes too long for most people to play. I mean, the biggest game I've played has probably been about 17,000 points in the board or something, but that was at Warhammer World, and that was on the big Khorne Fortress board, and it took 8 hours to get past turn 2. So it was great fun, but it would take a whole weekend. 3,000 points. I've done 3,000 roughly points before, and it's good fun, but can take a long time. It's all I'd say with that one.
It's a weekend night one game, that.
Yeah,
do it on a Saturday night, have a few beers, play all night. It's not a...
Don't do it on a weekday. So KP is saying thoughts on the Phoenicium? Is that Phoenix God? Or is that the city? What's the Sigmar? Do you know that's the city of Sigmar? Is that the Phoenicium?
I don't know.
I don't know, mate, unfortunately. If it's about the Phoenix Guard one, then what minimum size units of Phoenix Guard? 10?
10.
It means it'd be harder to bring like 90 Phoenix Guard to the board because you won't be able to do that. So that's my thoughts on that. Though. What's Ethan saying? Our boys come in 5s. Oh, that is going to hurt those our boys for sure.
But I mean, we don't know what the minimum units is going to be for a lot of them. The our boys might go to 10.
And we expect
probably will do.
And obviously, General's Handbook's coming out, but we're also expecting Oracle Warclans Battalions to come out for the Cruel Boys as well. Henry is saying, in all of this, I feel bad for Skaven, who just got hiding weapon teams. This seems to be an indirect nerf to that and Gloomspite Fanatics. So Gloomspite, you can't take the 180 anymore. Skaven, like I said, I took, like in the list I did, I had 80 Clan Rats and 40 Storm Vermin. And I'd still be able to, do that. So that's, I mean, obviously we all like different things, but I'm telling you, pushing like 120 models across the board is enough, in my honest opinion. I'll be honest, the people who will enjoy this is your opponent, as they don't have to watch you move all these models and as you refuse to buy movement trays. But like as
movement trays might go up there, especially with the coherency rules.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I used to run Box of Skeletons for years without refusing to use movement trays, which I realised was because I was an idiot. And then, but yeah, obviously those armies are more effective than others. William is saying, sorry, meant as 3-man units of Man Crushers. Yes, so going back to what you were saying earlier. And then Eric is saying, Squig Herd is minimum size squad of 6, and it will affect their unit size because they used to go to 24, now cap at 18. But like we say, the unit sizes will hopefully be updated. Don't get me wrong, if we get to the General's Handbook and Games Workshop were like, should we update the unit sizes? And they're like, nah, they'll be all right. Then yeah, Games Workshop, fuck them. But let's give them a chance, shall we? Because they haven't. I think, I'll be honest, we could scroll. I haven't read all this. We might scroll down a bit more and they might say, by the way, we're updating unit sizes. General's Handbook 2021. But I don't want to give Games Workshop credit because they don't always do a good job. And you know me, I'll slag them off at any chance I get. So Sis is saying, as a Soulblight Gravelords, Castellan player, Blood Knights. Here we go. So I'm laughing in MSU, Blood Knights, Suck at Elves. I mean, just like a couple points, Suck at Elves, completely agree on that point. Hate Elves. Felt like we got nothing but Elves from Games Workshop and Sisters of Battle for like 20 years at one point recently. Yeah, I agree, MSU. Blood Knights is how like I've run them when I've played around it. The only thing like the 1-inch range weapons with the Blood Knights, if the coherency isn't like 40k and doesn't let you fire in 2 ranks. And then Henry is saying, also, is it just me or does this seem like a weird time to drop this? Like I have spent my quarantine time painting an army. Now I feel I need to change the list. I mean, from Games Workshop perspective, it didn't change the list as in you might want to buy new models to fit that list. Games Workshop have done a great job because they have sold more models. But Games Workshop aren't best at timings. Anyway, you know, I think they did a big Death Guard release during a global pandemic. You know, so just bear things like that in mind. Games Workshop doesn't care about your hobby. That's simple. So Eric is saying the world is changing around me and I'm scared. Again, people saying this about 18 months ago. It's still a scary place in the world. But like, what I'll just say about that, be open to change. That's something that I've learned throughout my life because at the end of the day, you have no choice. However, this is a tabletop game where if you don't like third edition or you don't like certain rules, you just don't need to play them. And I know people go like, oh, well, I have to play the new rules. So when I go to my local store and I play against people there, I have to be on the top of everything that's new and be playing the rules right. Okay, I mean, like, but do you play most of your games at, say, around a mate's house or something like that? Because if you do, then you don't have to worry about it. Or if you talk to your guys in your local store, you know, your Games Workshop manager is not going to enforce that you play the latest rules possible. And if they do, they're a jerk and go somewhere else. You got any thoughts on that? Because that is a good point. Like, you got any thoughts on that, Ben?
The thing is, like, I am one for the toys out the pram approach with this, as I kind of just gave up on Warhammer for about 3 or 4 years when 8th edition, when Warhammer Fantasy Battles went, and then I came back in AOS 2. So I skipped the entire thing because I just couldn't deal with AOS, basically. So, you know, I can't really say I'm not guilty of doing the exact same thing of going, you know what, fuck it, I'm done. Which, yeah.
Well, it shows though, like, because you enjoy AOS now, don't you?
No, it's the thing.
Like, sometimes, like, if you feel like it, take a break. Multiple options you can do, basically.
AOS is it's a fun game. I've enjoyed it. It's different to Warhammer Fantasy Battles, and it's different in a good way.
Yeah, agreed. So Connor then says, personally, I'm finding the new armor construction rules interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's parts of me that's like, oh, I have to change how I play my army, which, you know, I'm going to say I'm hypocritical now, because at the same time, like, oh yeah, I like how my army plays because it's just got a new book. So I'm not grateful. But then I'm also like, you know, I like new changes, keeps things fresh. So like, and if they do a really bad job, I'm not saying they have, Games Workshop will probably change it quickly, like within a year. So
I don't know, this is the best rule set ever.
Yeah,
I've heard it somewhere. I'm not 100% where, but I've heard it.
I thought I've heard that before. Has anyone in the chat heard that this is the best rule set? So I don't know why there's anyone disagreeing with it. But Poet is saying that people starting about having to use MSU are just bad commanders who have relied on blobs instead of learning movements. Those shots fired in the chat. What's he said? So half kidding. Hot take. So
that's a sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. So you're right. Christopher saying maybe we're looking at this army composition and the unit coherence in the wrong way. Maybe they're all just marketing rules designed to make you play smaller games, buy smaller armies, and buy new. I mean, it could be. Games Workshop, at the end of the day, they're here to make money more than make a good game. If they could have a bad game and people still spend as much money on it, then like.
Well, they've said as much before. They've said that they make models, not games. Yeah. And they've said that for years.
Well, they still say it, and they still don't accept that they're a massive company and should hold up to more responsibility. So it's a good point there, Chris. And then we got Henry said, call me Trass if you want. Just want to see 15 Fanatics hit something. Like, I mean, we all do.
Fanatics are great. They're like one of the best units in the game. And they have been since, like, ever.
Yeah, I remember when I thought about it, was a while ago, but when I thought about them, like my opponent was like, so I put them in a unit. I reveal what a unit is when you charge it, blah, 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 however it works. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I remember that. And I was like, right, going to charge my terror guys because my Fanatics again. And I'm like, shit. Like, forgot every single time. Used to own Fanatics as a kid. Great models. And then Claire saying you can still play old AOS. Exactly. You know, you can play whatever edition you like. To be honest, my opinions, my favorite time of AOS was when the first General's Handbook came out. When Pointer just came out, there wasn't loads of command traits, anything like that. It was just simple, and every army just felt like it was playing on the same battlefield. So that was my favorite edition, was first edition. But, you know, here we are. I'm willing to accept new stuff. Slothman is saying Cabinet Overlords, Clown Car, Strat stands, Cadia stands. Sounds like it. And then Claire is saying it's not like the old Battalions are spontaneously combusting. So just understand some English now. Does that mean it's not like the old Battalions are going?
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
Not yet.
As big as they are, yeah.
Exactly. A Battletime's life is, unless you're a Luminaire Phenomenal player, is approximately 2 years at least. So I haven't got a problem with buying a new Battletime. I'm spending £25 every 2 years. Like, I think that's the right amount. Ronan is saying lead belchers will feel the pain since their min-size unit is 2.
I think those will see a move to 4.
They have to change, yeah. Otherwise, I completely agree. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Because I think to take them as battle line, you've got to take them units to 4, haven't you? In the More Tribes book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think they'll go to a 4 minimum, like the Iron Guts.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. And Poet again is saying MSU is a good thing. This comment brought to you by the poster boy. Nathan Fee is saying, I'm looking forward to the new edition. I am too, mate. I'm not looking forward to cashing out some money on some books, but I'm looking forward to it as well. Ronan is saying, wait, does this mean no more 12 Ogre Glutton squads?
6 minimum, so it's just 1 point.
I think they're 3 minimum.
Is it 3 minimum? I thought there was 6.
No, it's 3. So at the moment, no. But hopefully, with the new General's Handbook, yes, you'll be able to take 12. Enigman is saying, I'm liking a lot of this new stuff, though a friend of mine did bring up a fair point about all the stuff being revealed, suffering for a bit of rules bloat. What are your thoughts on that sentiment? I think there's a hell of a lot of new rules come in and change-ups, and they've decided they want to tell us quite a lot about it before it actually hits the shelves. So that is why they're chucking loads of news at us. But to be honest, like, it's not really too much of a news bloat. Like, this is the one article, there's 3 articles posted today, and this is the only one that's got news in it. Because I'm sure the Slaanesh one is just going to be talking about Slaanesh, but it's not going to be anything new in that. But yes, ask me in a week after I've been doing these videos every day, and I'll probably agree. And then Claire is saying, yeah, 12 gluttons won't exist. Although with coherency, it would be a pain to get 12 fighting. It's true. I think that's a good point you mentioned there, Ben. I mean, again, I don't play 40k, so I don't know, but the whole fine in 2 ranks thing, I think that would solve a lot of these problems out. Ethan is saying, I am also looking forward to a new edition. No more excuses.
Agreed.
Agreed, yeah. I'm looking for a new edition. No more excuses. GW must fix Beastman. Yes, so Ben, as we said, best Beastman player on this side of the galaxy. So definitely, I just love it if there's like a parallel universe where it's like, and that universe going, oh, do you want a game? It's like, yeah, I'll give you a game. Go, cool, want to try a new Beastman this day? And you're just like, shit, fucking hate playing Beastman. Like, it's just,
it's gonna be weird.
Would be weird. So we got that, and then we got Shotty saying, do you think the new Age of Sigmar will be more like 9th edition Warhammer 40k? Yes, compared to how Age of Sigmar is now, but not like an identical copy.
No, there's some similarities to it with the scoring, but the scoring doesn't seem to be quite as admin heavy as 40k does.
No, and what I'd say, and even if it is similar, I'd say, like I said, I don't play 40k, so this is a ignorant opinion. But what I would say is that as I want to play 40k, as I'm building up Imperial Knights, I'm happy if the systems are fairly similar, so I don't have to learn a brand new game system. Like, it just makes, and then so I'm not forgetting rules and everything when I switch from one to the other. I like that. Enigman is saying, I'll mark my calendar. Make sure you do that. And then Eric is saying, AOS 3rd edition will be my 1st edition, and I am sharing the Dominion box with my cousin. It will be glorious. That's awesome to hear, mate. That Dominion box, if you get your hands on it, definitely order as soon as you can. For that, that's not me marketing for Games Workshop. That's me trying to help you out. Make sure you get a copy, because that might take a week to sell out, but compared to all the other boxes,
I don't know. Unless they're doing made to order. I mean, Indomitus sold out in about half an hour.
They haven't mentioned they're doing a made to order. They just said they're giving it a 2-week pre-order window.
Yeah, so like Indomitus sold out really quick. So I'm not holding out hopes for it.
No, like, just if you want it, order quickly, is all I'm going to say on that one, Eric. But no, that's cool, man. Let us know what you're getting, the Cruel Boys of the Stormcast Eternals. Okay, so with that, thank you all very much for your questions, and we'll crack on with the rest of the art. So, boy, so many opinions, this. Like, ridiculous.
I know, yeah.
How many, like... at least 3/4 of this chat has been about this, which has been great. It's great to hear. And obviously, if I say an opinion and like you guys didn't agree with it, doesn't mean my opinion's right and your opinion's wrong. We all like different things at the end of the day. None of us are right and wrong about anything. We all just like different things. And it'd be a boring world if we all like the same thing, although world peace would be quite nice. So the next thing it says is the new rules that allows each unit to benefit from only a single command ability at a time. So that's where it says it. There. I swear I didn't mention it earlier. Did I mention it earlier?
No, I don't think it mentioned it earlier. I think it might have mentioned it.
Rumors or something.
I think it mentioned it in the Quill one.
Okay, there we go. So it says, so you'll see a lot more synergy with multiple units working together instead of budding generals putting all their eggs in one basket. Yeah, so like, again, Death Stars, I don't know if people still know it by that sort of phrase, but, like everything, buffed one unit won't really be a thing. I've never really done that ever since Better Call's been a thing, though, because chances are you'll put all your love and joy into one unit, and then you'll go against Better Call, and then he'll make that unit not do anything for 2 turns. But it says you won't feel quite as compelled to max out every unit to make them effective, because you won't be able to. So it then says, as you explore these rules updates in the new core book, you'll find they offer fresh opportunities for tactical nuance as the gameplay evolves, presenting nail-biting ways. Just say COVID, don't bite your nails when you're playing your games. We're not very good. To play with your models. Overall, the outcome of match play games will be determined by clever strategies and army composition, with a balanced approach depending on the army you pick. So stop back tomorrow for another look at Warhammer Age of Sigmar's rules, this time covering the back and forth elements that will keep you busy during your opponent's turn, which I thought they already talked about and said heroic actions and monstrous rampage. It sounds like there's more, so that's cool. Want to make sure you don't miss anything, watch my videos. So all I'm going to say of that one. And then we'll go into the reason why, not the only reason, obviously, but the specialist reason why you're here an hour later. I said this video going for an hour, didn't I?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it's why I started to start later.
Exactly. So all talking about Slaanesh now. So if any of you just joined, we have covered the match play stuff when it comes to building your army and battalions, and we are going to be talking about the news for Slaanesh, Hedonites of Slaanesh in particular. I'm just going to catch up with the chat before we go into this because it'll be a good chance. Jean said, I already pre-ordered at my local store. Haha. That's interesting. I don't know how you can do that because it's not on pre-order until the 19th.
There's a few stores doing it, to be fair.
Is there?
Yeah, because I got my copy of Curse City from a local store. Like, pre-ordered as soon as the Curse was like, yeah, just get me a copy. It's always good to support local businesses, though.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Hopefully Games Workshop's fine with that. I think if AOS moves closer, then more 40k players may be more likely to try the game, especially considering most 40k players have probably already moved to the new table size. Agreed. Yeah. It's a great point, Ethan. Henry is saying that basically same. I bought a 2k point grot army and I'm whitting my way through. So I think that's in. Did you? I can't remember, Henry. Did you say something about like I've been paying them up over lockdown? No, I feel like I can't take them all because that would be quite annoying. And then Ronan saying, hopefully we get plastic sculpts of current resin models over more new armies right away. I think so. I've always said that when people are waiting for new models for their army, Seraphon. What are some other ones? There's Seraphon. There's a Sigmar. There is. I'm trying to think of some.
Beasts of Chaos have tons. They've got most of the HQs.
Is there any other army that could do with non-resin models? I'm just trying to think.
Ogre Mortribe.
Ogre Mortribes, exactly. There we go. Beast of Chaos. Should have mentioned it then.
The Trees, the Jabberslaves, the Centaurs, the Doomval, the Beast Lords, the Chariot.
Everything in the Skaven range. No, not everything in the Skaven range, but a lot of things.
Most of the good things in the Skaven range.
Most of the good things, yeah. I tell you what, it's funny how they make the things that are really old models really good, like the Lord Krogan brought a new one out. But what I've always said is, second edition, every army will have a new battle tome for second edition. Third edition is when we'll see any full army updates, like Seraphon, Beast of Chaos, Skaven, Ogre Mortribes, everything like that. That's the earliest we would ever see it, and I've been saying that for about a year. So hopefully I'll be right on that one, for sure. And like I saw a funny meme on Saurus models, compared Total War Saurus models, the artwork, and compared to real life ones, like a funny meme. And the thing is, that's probably about, since I've ever gone to Age of Sigmar, the 10th funny meme I've seen about it, which is clearly a problem. But then Claire is saying that several of the current armies relied on stacking buffs. They do, but hopefully it'll force you to change it. Like, I've got quite opinionated views on the Soulblight Gravelords when everyone's saying, oh, the new book's completely shit. And I'm like, it's not. You just have to play the army differently. So hopefully it'll be all right for whatever army we're talking about. That's going to sting for a few. I'm sure it is, as long as it's the strong armies. And then Ronan is saying that doesn't Khorne rely heavily on buff stacking? Yeah, but Khorne's not very good. Games Workshop doesn't care about them. And then Gina saying they like me. So that's the story pre-orders out. That's all very good. And then Nick is saying, how would the command ability change affect Eineth Deepkin? I don't know what command ability we're talking about. Oh no, yeah, because you can stack it all in one. Yeah, I've Eineth Deepkin just like become really bad and they don't win any games for, I don't know, 9 months. I'm really happy. That's not sarcastic. I hate Eineth Deepkin and the reels. So going on to Henry is saying, yeah, that was me. So talking about paying up all those grots and stuff. So pro tip, don't magnetize 120 grots, 3 months of work, and display base, not great for clouds of grey. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
that sounds like hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we all learn lessons, don't we? And then Eric Elick is saying that he's responding to Henry saying, I'm chipping my way through my Gloomspite Gits as well. Loon Shrine is going to be a nightmare because it's going to be destroyed by every monster and fox in Warhammer Age Sigmar. And then the Paladin is saying, how will it work with OBR? So OBR, we're getting an update tomorrow. I'll be covering it in the news. We're hoping that they will say, for all the command points you get, Ostrich Bone Reapers get Relentless Discipline points. If it's not that case, then fuck you, GW, as an Ostrich Bone Reaper player, because it just feels like everyone else is getting loads of toys. Because at that point, Ostrich Bone Reapers, they're Relentless Discipline. It's like they get more Relentless Discipline points than people get command points, but Relentless Discipline points can't be used for like as much stuff, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not the value of Relentless Discipline point on average is not the same as a command point. Do you kind of see where I'm coming from, Ben?
Yeah, no.
So
I've not played with Ossiarch Bone Reapers a lot, but I've played against him a couple of times.
So like so they get more Relentless Discipline points every battle round.
Yeah.
But they're valued less than a command point, basically. At this point, it'll be the Relentless Discipline points will be outnumbered by the command points, and they can be used for more stuff. So because also the Ostrich Bone Reapers can't use generic command abilities. So when it comes to things like the battalions, all that defense and stuff, they can't use that because they can't use those command abilities. So it's an interesting point.
Hopefully it will change then.
What's that?
Hopefully it will change and you will be able to use like some of them, or at least get your own version.
Yeah, hopefully it wasn't a case of like when they were doing all the rules stuff like tick. We've got that tick. So it's Sigmar tick. We've got the Khorne sorted tick. We've got Stormcast sorted tick. I don't know, Dave. The Ostrich Bone Reapers, you're on that. You've done the changes so they fit into the new edition, and it's just like 5 to finishing time. It's like, yep, done that, mate. Yep. And it's like, so the book can go print. Yes, the book can definitely go to print. It just hasn't been done.
Sounds about right.
It sounds about right with a number.
Yeah, I mean, with the new battalions, it stopped Beast of Chaos being able to play with the gods. So you can't run them in Siege, Slaanesh, Khorne, or Noble anymore.
Yeah, anyway, so going on with Emery is saying, I'm thinking of posting updates on Discord. Oh, mate, Henry, definitely post your updates and your Fight the Grey and stuff. Definitely on Discord. Don't even hesitate. Do it. It'll be great to see. And then Short for Life is saying, yeah, I bought 2 to 3 Ks of Gits. So many Gloomspite Gits in here last month. I wonder how these new rules will change the army. Trolls. What's the range on trolls? The weapons?
2 inch, I think.
If it's 1 inch, really sad. Like, really sad.
I think it's 2 inch.
I hope so. And then Elick is responding to Henry saying, you should do it. I've been sending updates to my friends and it's done wonders for motivation to finish it. Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, that's why I did that How to Defeat Your Pile of Shame video, and then did the whole Fight the Grey, which Ben, as a member of the Discord, you can say that is probably one of the busiest. I was going to say it used to be the busiest, but now one of many busiest channels in that. So like, it makes me feel bad how much you guys.
I mean, like, we also like do hobby hangout, and we'll just like chill out on the Discord and paint.
Yeah,
it's so much better painting with while talking to other people, just chatting shit just about day-to-day life and just painting your model. It's great.
Yeah, definitely. And
motivates so much better.
Yeah, and when you've been missing that feeling of being able to paint in a store, if you ever did that, you can join Discord and do that. There's a link to it in the description of this video, and I've been told I should say that a lot more. So Paladin is saying, what about Catacross hero phase command work only getting once per phase? I think if that is Catacross, I think let's wait until tomorrow. Join us tomorrow while we talk about our Bone Reapers, and we'll see what if they don't give us any news on that, then I'm going to say Games Workshop done a shit job at telling us the information. But until then, I'll give them a little bit of slack, just a little bit. And then Elec is saying trolls have range too. Yes, up the trolls, troll meta. Trolls are here. If anyone was watching the other video where people just talked about the Troggos in that video, don't even know what it was in relevance to, but people just turned the chat to Troggos trap. You can do that in this video. I'll give you permission. Roma saying the Slaanesh article seems to hint. We haven't even gone through it yet. New commander abilities will have access to how they interact with our units. Sigvold is going to be even more scary. And then Paladin saying, okay, cool. He will join us tomorrow. Cool. My Troggoth army is now vindicated. Awesome. So, right, let's get into this video. And we have 69 people viewing this channel. So nobody else leave or join.
Nice.
So if we can just stay on 69, that'd be great. Just don't leave or don't join. We have stayed with that for a while now. That's amazing. So right, okay. So welcome back to our daily look at the myriad factions vying for dominance in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Whether you're looking to start a new army or wondering how your existing forces will fare in the new edition, we have you covered with an in-depth look at some of the major changes coming to each faction, curated by our experienced playtesters. So it says they may be a relatively recent addition to the Mortal Realms landscape, but the Hedonites of Slaanesh are more eager than most to embrace new exotic ideas. Let's see how they fare. Well, as a Slaanesh player, Ben, I believe you'll say that they've been around for a while, but the Mortal followers are quite big.
Definitely fair. Well, like we've had the Mortals since I want to say 7th edition War and Fantasy with the Hellstriders, because they're pretty good models now.
Yeah, and I've been like my fetishes for like Slaanesh have been around for too long. Some would say I was too young when I had those fetishes. So
probably,
yeah, exactly. Again, for anyone who's just joined lately, I'm wearing a pink t-shirt for Slaanesh, so that there was effort. And a pink drink that I should have been drinking over the last hour and a half. Right, so the next he says, who are the Hedonites of Slaanesh? Generally perverts, but the good sort. You know, the scout leaders. You know that. You know, it's just an odd touch here and there. So as far as chaos worshipping cults go, the ones that revel in the pursuit of earthly pleasures are an unsurprisingly attractive proportion for many residents of the mortal realms, promising indulgence beyond what any normal person could dream of. They gorge themselves on lavish feasts and wild parties that all feed the sinister hunger of Slaanesh, Dark Prince, and Lord of Pleasure. So what I'd say is I'll be doing some Hedonites or Slaanesh videos again in the future. We'll do a series on them. I'm sure Ben will join for one or two. I've said it live now to 80 people, so you have no choice.
Yeah, I don't have a choice now.
You have a choice now, but I could talk about Hedonites of Slaanesh for ages. Like talking about their lore, just like one thing when it's just like they do this and they are very all about perfection and they eat loads and they do well. It's more like different cults do different aspects rather than they all do everything. I like there's loads, not to correct their lore, but there's just like loads to talk about. Hedonites of Slaanesh are the best of the chaos, for sure. And then we go on to say,
I'm really loving the new artwork for it as well. Like all the artwork in the Hedonites book and like all the new stuff.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were being sarcastic. This is
no. I genuinely like it. It's good.
Yeah, it's like the Painbringers are awesome as well. Like, what was that?
That was a shield falling down. Yeah, that'd be right.
That was a shield falling. I mean, like, have anyone else got a shield falling off their walls? It happens. I mean, I've luckily all my shields are padded around the edges, so it's nice,
As am I.
silent thump. Right, so, and yet, do you need to sort that out, mate?
No, it's just
it's on the ground now, so it's
on the ground. All right.
Right, so I presume it's one of the shields for the Painbringers. Right, so and yet for all their supplication and sacrifice, the Hedonites find their master's throne empty, for the god of excess lies imprisoned between the realms by the sorcery of its elven nemesis. So it is for this reason that roving bands of Slaanesh faithful march from the realm to realm, seeking out any information they can find that might aid in their god's release and slaughtering all who would dare to get in their way. Not really slaughterers, more of a we'll let you bleed out.
Yeah.
Sort
You're gonna die. It's gonna be slow.
Yeah, is that more pain, more pleasure. And remember, this is a YouTube, so I have to cap myself what I could say. Join the Discord if you want to hear Nagash uncut. But what I will say, is I can't remember my point now. Sorry, but no, what I was gonna say. Yeah, I'm a bit bored with the whole. Oh, so he's still imprisoned, but he's been breaking his way free for the last 2. Just break him out. Like I saw the story and stuff, but it was like, it's just like you're doing like the Great Escape now for a couple of years. Like it's just, well, he's been in prison since the start, but he's been there for 5 years. I mean, come on. I love it when it's like, how many changes he got? Nobody knows. Like, well, that just gives them years. Right, so it says, on the battlefield, these warbands of twisting, twirling, Sybarites approach combat with the same sense of reveille that they do anything else. So agile warriors shower their foes with clouds of poison-tipped arrows, while hordes of clawed demonettes plunge into close combat, hacking and snipping through feeble mortal flesh. So there we go. And as a sort of like a long-term, Slaanesh player, is there anything that you would like to add at this point, Ben, to what we've been talking about so far for the Slaanesh?
No, not really. Well, with this, it just seems like there's a lot with the going towards the MSU and the not very large units. It kind of feeds into how Slaanesh is built anyway. But I think the issue that with it could be that we might not get as many depravity points from the opponent if they've got MSU, because we might end up like killing them rather than leaving them alive, which could be an issue. But if there's more units on the field, we've got a better chance of generating tons of depravity points. So you've got to choose. You'll have to choose your targets carefully with it.
Agreed. Yes, that's a good point made there. Talk about the future different. We'll compare your thoughts to Mike in a moment. Just going to look through here. Say Joseph, just going back to chat, saying as a Stormcast Numeneth player, yuck. I'm feeling a lot of love from GW, but my wallet definitely feels it. I can certainly imagine what that must be like. And then going on with Roman is saying that it's okay. Slaanesh has that effect on all of us. It really does. Like I feel like actually I won't keep talking about that. And then we've got Monty from this Discord, who's actually a Mortark. He's called Manfred, saying a new story, Seraphon being cool as ever. Shame about your model line though, isn't it? That's what I'm going to say.
Crook's all right.
Pardon?
Crook's okay.
Yeah, that's like one. And you can pick out a Carnosaur and a bloody Stegodon if you like to, but you can probably name...
The Pterodon Riders look nice.
Pardon?
The Pterodon Riders look nice.
Okay, yeah, but again, probably one hand of compared to how big that book is. Low blow. There's literally no level to how low I will go. And on that subject of Slaanesh, so Mike is saying that I think we've already read through that, haven't we? So Mike is saying that summoning large units in particular can be a game-winning move in the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and Hedonites of Slaanesh can do it better than most, using their summoning abilities to bypass the limit on reinforced units and bring huge hordes of demonettes to the table. This can really put pressure on your opponent, swamping them with numbers and a barrage of deadly attacks. Can we confirm that, Ben, so far?
Yeah, so if you manage to get 12 depravity points pretty quick, you can get down 30 demonettes for a Keeper of Secrets. So 30 demonettes tends to be the best way to go. And with this not being affected by what seems to be not affected by the reinforcement points, it's one of the few ways you can easily get a unit of 30 down on the battlefield pretty quickly. And getting 12 depravity points is just injuring 12 units. It's including your own and your opponents. So you could get that turn 2 or 3. Which, an extra 30 demonettes in turn 3 that's pretty good.
Yeah, and like you just say to your opponent, you didn't pay any points for it, like reinforced points. So just loving life. So if you don't want to go MSU, play Slaanesh. Sad things, but so then goes on to say that the new command abilities really help out a lot of Hedonite units too, with all out attack letting you increase your damage output dramatically. +1 to hit, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Bishbarb archers can use this ability in the shooting phase to hit and wound or freeze, letting you pick off any key heroes in that game. That's pretty good. I would think.
No, it's pretty good, especially because I think with 3.0 you capped at either +1 or -1. So if you're against, like, say, a smaller hero like 9 wounds or under, and the extra unit, you're still hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s. Or if you use another ability, say from the new Voice of Slaanesh with their spell, and that's another +1 to hit. So you only capped at +1. So you still hit on 3s, wounding on 3s with a character with lookouts there. So if you want to get rid of that annoying Cath Caller, then that's what you do with it.
Yeah. Nope. There you go. And it's just nice to have that shooting in the arm, isn't it? And just to try and improve it as much as you can. So then goes on to say that the sub-factions that I think will do particularly well are the Godseekers, as their Manacle Hunters rule allows them to generate depravity points quickly with a Keeper of Secrets as their general. The Hunter Supreme command trait lets the Greater Demon really pour damage into a specific target, while supporting units like Simbareth Twin Souls use the Keeper's command ability to fight twice with devastating effect. Yeah, I mean, what do you think of the Twin Souls? You a fan?
I quite like them. I think they're pretty good at clearing out either lots of chaff or lots of ruined but with low save, because they're 4s, 3s, and damage 2. And they've got a 2-inch reach as well, so they'll fight in ranks in this because they're only on 32mm bases. So you could take a unit of 10 of them and there won't be an issue. And they've either got an inbuilt after save or reroll hits. So they're pretty good for doing high damage, but they're not very good against high armor opponents.
Right, yeah.
I really do rate the Twin Souls, though. They're pretty good.
No, that's cool. That's good to hear. So then we go on to the biggest winners, which I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. So there are many powerful and verticalized units across the Hedonites of Slaanesh faction, and some more in particular are about to see more significant benefits from the new edition. So we have got Sigvold, the Prince of Slaanesh. So Mike says that the Magnificence 1 ability to call his finest hour in the hero phase, hitting and wounding, and saving on a 2+ without having to spend a command point, not only makes him incredibly deadly, but it means he can still attack twice with a nearby Keeper of Secrets command ability. This is all before the opponent can attack back, although I don't think there's going to be much left after Sigvold's done.
No, I think this is a really good call with that. If he does the one in the hero phase for the heroic command ability or whatever it is, but I think the issue is Sigvold's run a lot at the moment in the Lurid Haze in the Invader's Host, which means he tends to start off the board, so he'll miss his first hero phase. Right. So he won't be able to do that. So that could cause an issue. But if you're not playing in the Lurid Haze, then yeah, he's hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s with a 2+ armor save. He gets 2 attacks straight away. He gets 2 attack rounds straight away. As on the charge, he strikes first.
Does he have a mortal wound save?
Yeah, he's got 4+ save.
That's
Yeah,
really
he's
good.
only got 6 wounds though, so he's pretty fragile if you get something through. But he's the definition of glass cannon.
Well, this helps him out a little bit more, so that's cool to hear. As sometimes I feel when they mention these things, like obviously these are really good players, but sometimes I feel like they go, and this thing, because it's this thing, it doesn't really feel like they give much of a reason behind it. So no, that's good. Mike then talks about Painbringers. So one of my personal favorites, which is natural defensive bonus, makes them a perfect anchor to your line. They're more than just defensive units, though. The Paymaster can issue the attack order, letting them hit on 2s and giving you more chances to cause mortal wounds. I was hoping that they would hit on 2s originally, so they have a way to do it now. So yes, they wound on 3s, presumably.
Yeah, they hit on 3s, wound on 3s, 2 attacks each, render 1, damage 1, and they can mortal wound on a 6th wound, in addition to your normal damage. But they've also got the Painbringer shields, which is reroll failed armor saves in melee against melee weapons. So if you do the all defense for the give them a 3+, then they're really tanky. And if the points don't actually change with them, they're actually worth it. As at the moment they're 150 points. So if everyone's right about Slaanesh being pointed for the new edition, then it could be a reasonable points.
Hopefully, so. I mean, that's what I think. That's what we're all hoping for. So yeah, that's a good point. And then we've got the Simbaresh Twin Souls. So Mike says that the Simbaresh Twin Souls 2-inch reach is extremely useful. More of them will get to attack, and their natural rerolls plus any buffs from command abilities let them do a lot of damage. The enemy won't know what hit them. And we talked about them, didn't we? The Twin Souls. So
yeah.
Interesting that it mentions the 2-inch range, saying that they'll be able to attack more, which makes you feel like maybe the idea of hopefully having like the 2 ranks being able to attack.
It's sounding more and more like it's not going to be a thing. Which it's a bit of a shame, but it is what it is with it. People adapt.
Yeah, that's what happens when you stop being pessimistic and you try optimism. Don't like it. Just tell yourself things are going to be bad and you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, I do like the Twin Souls because they've got 3 attacks each as well, so they can pump out an absolute shed load of wounds.
Yeah,
and if they've got the +1 to hit and they're in the phase where they can reroll, then they hit on 3s, wounding on 3s, 2 damage each, and the rerolling failed hits, which it's really nice. It's not just rerolling once like a lot of things are.
Exactly, which sounds a bit repetitive, doesn't it?
And it's rerolling hit rolls as well rather than rerolling failed hits. So if you really want to fish for 6s,
you could reroll. Yeah, that is always a good point to mention, because they definitely are not the same thing when it comes to, especially where I know you could be going against something that has like a bloody 2-up armor save, and you're just like, I really don't care about the normal attacks because they're not going to do anything. So I just want to get those mortal wounds. So yeah, that's very true. It says, thanks for the tips, Mike. If you're looking for an army that hits hard and fast and can blanket the battlefield in blissful excess and swarms of demons, then the Hedonites of Slaanesh might just be for you. Start with the Blissful Archers and the Sickle Blade Seekers. Then I don't want to say you to start with those 2 things. He just pointed out 3 different units. So maybe not studying as well. I don't know. Then expand your demonic options with the Star Collecting Demons of Slaanesh, set packed with Demonettes, an Exalted Seeker Chariot, and more. Some Seeker models. And the old Seeker models.
And that's it,
Yeah, that's it. So what are your thoughts on what we learned about the Slaanesh today then?
Yeah, so like a couple things I'm surprised that they've not mentioned is, I'm surprised they didn't mention the Fiends. Especially with it being really monster heavy, the Fiends get the Deadly Venom Barb Stinger attack, which does more wounds, the more wounds that the opponent has. So it does D3 if the opponent's got 2 to 3 wounds, and it does D6 if they've got 4 wounds or more. And with an all-out attack, if you can get that to hit on a 2+, and it's got a 2-inch range as well. So when you're running your units of 6 fiends, you're at -1 to hit them, you're at -1 to wound the fiends. They've got a 2-inch reach with a barbed stinger, which is the thing that's going to be killing the monsters. It's pretty good to go with the all-out attack, especially with the fact that you can issue those kind of command abilities from the unit leaders, because the fiends does have a unit leader to it.
That's really cool, because I can show you the fiends are one of my favorite units from there. It's definitely like, I think, I don't know.
No, they look really great.
It's one of my favorite units from the book as well. I was going to say, like, and for one of the reasons for that attack, because it's just interesting, isn't it? Like, depending on what you're going against, like the same reason, like the Castellet Blood Knights or the Castellet Vampires, when they manage to kill an enemy unit, depending on what the enemy unit is, they get a certain buff. I like it that the Hedonites of Slaanesh, the fiends, get that. So, well, it's not the same, but they get different damage output the bigger the thing is going.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
So it's really cool.
The other one to probably mention with the Hedonites as well is the Glutos Skeleton. So he's got a command ability that's issued in the hero phase, rather than the combat or the shooting or the charge phase. So he'll get to stack this with the other ones. So his command ability is pick one friendly Head Knight unit wholly within 12 inches, and until the next hero phase, if an enemy unit is destroyed by attacks made by that Head Knight unit, and there are runes that remain to be allocated to the enemy, you heal the same amount. So say that if you're running Glutos and Archaon, or Glutos and a Keeper of Secrets, you can get a lot of healing with the overkill from that, as well as healing from the other abilities you get from the heroes. And that's in the hero phase, so you've still got your fight twice. So if you do pretty much kill something down to like 2 wounds, fight a second time with the Keeper of Secrets ability, gain all your wounds back, essentially.
Just looking at Shalaxi, just thinking that it could happen. Like that's a good point, especially in an army that some people don't say the best things about it. It's not one of the strongest armies, so it's nice to have that and that sort of like tech in there, and for you to sort of talk about it as well. I think it's pretty good. Is there anything else you would want to add on them, or? What is there? Like,
the one main thing probably is pretty good to add for Slaanesh, which kind of like a lot of the armies don't have a lot of, is we've got a lot of access to reroll ones. So the Contorted Epitome has the overwhelming acquiescence spell. So D3 enemy units within 24 inches, I can reroll hit rolls of 1 against that unit. Those units. So if I use the all-out attack, I'm hitting on 2s, I'm re-rolling my 1s. Those Painbringers are doing a lot of damage, and like anything else really is as well.
Yeah, because we've lost the generic reroll ones, obviously, from all-out attacks. It's changed that +1.
So it's even better with it.
Yeah, so armies that already had inherent ways to give yourself +1 and relied on those reroll ones are probably going to find that more stinging, aren't they, compared to like Slaanesh, for example, that's got the reroll one capability anyway.
We've got a lot of reroll ones anyway, and having more command points to play with as Slaanesh is a lot better than we've had before, because either we're starved or we've got too many. So like Pretenders and the Pretenders host and the Godseekers, they don't generate as many command points as say the Invaders host do. But the Invaders host one can generate a lot more command points than they previously have been able to.
Yes, and it's and obviously with 3rd edition, there's going to be certainly more command points you can generate, isn't there? So it's going to help with that. Right then, so with that, I'm going to thank you very much, Ben, for coming onto the channel and talking to me about, like I said, Slaanesh, but also hugely on the whole sort of new rules for army building going on, which if you joined recently and you missed that, don't worry, this video, when it ends soon, you'll be able to watch it on demand. You'll be able to go to when we're talking about the battalions and how to build your armies for match play. So overall, today's news, the Slaanesh stuff is, I think really it's not news, it's just you might learn a few bits here and there, but they're not showcasing anything. It's basically just talking about how to play them in the new edition more than anything else.
I think it's aimed at new players, to be fair. A lot of these, it seems to be so far, aimed at new players going, this is what this army does. And I think at the end of the day, I think it's going to be quite good. So a new player can come in, go into the Warhammer community, click through all these articles going, oh, this is what this army does. I want it. And you know what? That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't think these kind of things are like meant for experienced players with it.
I think they said they are meant for experienced and new, but I do agree with you that I think they are definitely aimed towards new. But also, like, I don't know a lot about KO. So when the KO one comes up, I'm probably going to learn something from that as well.
No, like a lot of armies, like I'll learn loads from
blind spots. Yeah, like yeah. So yeah, I definitely think about that, and let us know. Like I'll be doing my outro stuff the next couple of minutes. So let us know if you've got any other questions in the chat of the video before I end the video. It'd be good to hear them. Chris is saying I caught it live. What time did you join? 8:38. Oh, so you caught quite a bit of it, but don't worry, you'll be able to watch the rest later. And then Arnold is saying that thanks for a very interesting talk through. Well, you're very welcome from the both of us. I'm glad you enjoyed, Arnold, and thank you very much for your support as well in the chat. And then Sloth is saying clown car still stands. It sounds like it certainly does. Yeah, so with that, anyone got anything to put in the chat, put it now before I end. But I am going to again say thank you very much for Ben for joining me. Hopefully Ben, like he's already said in front of, I think it was 83 people, that will be joining me for some Hedonites of Slaanesh videos going forward, and potentially Beasts of Chaos. As I know that's a
it's not my area really.
Well, Beasts of Chaos, yeah. I mean, well, I'll be honest. I mean, I've done close to 11 hours worth of content on them, so I certainly feel
an hour. You know, less than Nurgle, more than
I certainly feel like I was an expert Beast of Chaos person after I spent that long reading through that battle. That's only hours of content, not how long it took to do it. I really enjoyed the book, to be honest. And it was quite nice.
The Beast of Chaos lore has like always been like absolutely fascinating and great.
Because and it was a book where the lore is fantastic, because it came like the lore of the Mortal Realms almost, but also came to, I realize this is now talking about Beast of Chaos in this video, but it also came to the bit where it's like, when you got to the match play bit, it's like, right, there's no one telling me this is how you run this army. You put it in this list and you do this. There's no one telling me that. So I'm thinking, right, I have the freedom to come up with interesting lists. Like, it just gives you that freedom of going, right, what you want to do is all the Tuskor chariots. Nothing but Tuskor. What about a Beast Lord? Scrap it. Tuskor chariot now. There's none of that. There was the odd, go and the Zangors. I was like, yeah.
I think there's a guy that's on the Discord, that's on the Beast Coast Discord, that's run 18 Tuskor chariots.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's not quite as fun as the 18 cockatrice list.
But it's still, I mean, like, the thing is, you do that, and then your opponent goes, how do I move? And you're just like, I don't know. Chariots everywhere. It's like I did it with direwolves back in Legion of Nagash. It's like this: you take like 40 odd direwolves in units of 5. The enemy's finding a hard time to move around.
Yeah.
Especially if they spread the damage out. It's like Graveside Hill, Graveside Hill, Graveside Hill, back in Legion of Nagash. But with that, and then Edith can say another great video. Thanks again for answering my questions. No worries at all. I think I'm new to doing all this live stuff, so apologies if sometimes the questions build up, but I do always try and get to everyone. As I can, because I think that's a really nice thing about it being live. So you can be interactive. And then Henry is saying, thanks so much. Have a good one. Thank you very much, Henry. Hope you have a good rest of your day as well to everyone else in the chat. So while I ask, if you enjoyed this video, please do me 3 massive favors. Now I say massive, it's actually really easy. All you got to do, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, smash the bell notification. Why I'm asking you to do that, massively helps the channel out, and it's absolutely free to do so. By liking the video, it shows to me that you enjoy me talking about the news and reacting and doing these live videos, because when I look to do more content, I look to see what's most popular, and that's what I go for, because if it's most popular, that's what you guys like, and I want to make content, obviously, that you guys enjoy the most. So by liking the video, it shows me that. Also, as a plus, it says to YouTube, people liking this video, and the YouTube will hopefully recommend it more to people, especially who aren't aware of the channel. So hopefully they'll see the video, they'll like it, and then they'll become part of the channel and continue their journey to Age Sigmar, as well as try and help them much as I can. And then by subscribing to the channel, that is how this channel grows at the end of the day. And we did hit the 6K mark yesterday, or a couple of days ago now. So we'll do a video on that. But obviously, there's so many live videos, just trying to fit it in. And I will be doing a very, emphasis on the small giveaways, but I do want to give something back to you guys that haven't done that for the last few thousand. So that's amazing. So we're subscribing to the channel. And that's how things like this happen. It's how the channel grows. It's how I can produce better content. And then by pressing the bell notification, what that means is that you'll never miss a future one of my videos. So if you're really enjoying any of the series I'm doing at the moment, or something like Gravelords, you know, we'll be doing a lot of stuff on that soon, or the news that I cover, by pressing that bell notification means that you won't miss it. And what I'd say as well about subscribing is that very few people who watch the video subscribe. So if you're one of those people, if you could just do me that favor and click that subscribe button, honestly, mean the world to me. And if you would like to ask any more questions or your thoughts, particularly if you're watching this video a bit later, put it in the comments down below. It'd be great to hear your thoughts. Again, like if you disagree with what I say, that's absolutely fine, but let me know why down below. It's maybe that I can learn something, we can both learn something from it. And if you feel like you know someone who will enjoy this video, make sure you share it with them, of course. And I will remember, Ben, if you would like to join the amazing community, which Ben is a prime example of the Age of Nagash Discord, where there is something along the lines of 270 members. I think there's more than that now. Definitely click the link to my Discord in the description of this video, where you can have conversations about all the news, painting, army tactics. We've got absolutely loads of stuff going on there. Too much for me to keep like on top of. Like, honestly, mental. But if you want to become part of that craziness, definitely join the Discord for sure. And like Ben said, we do hang out hobbies and all that sort of thing if you like that. And then all I'd like to say now is, if you would like to be an absolutely amazing, amazing champion, I would ask you if you could support the channel that step further, which is to become a member on YouTube, which you could become a member of Age of Nagash, which essentially, how do you do that? So you click the join button next to the subscribe button, it will allow you to become a member on Age of Nagash, and that's just basically giving anything from just £1 a month to the channel. Sounds really small, but it is the thing that keeps the channel going. Or there's a link to my Patreon on the top of the description down below, which you can click, and it will take you to my Patreon, where you can give anything from just $1 a month. And why does that really help the channel grow? And, you know, everything else, why does it allow me to produce better content? It's essentially, if YouTube was a business, so I always say we're losing money every single month. But what, because mainly essentially all the time, effort, resources, and money I put into this, but what these people allow me to do, which unfortunately the mechanic of the computer machine is not allowing me to put the names up, but I will read them out. What these people allow me to do is justify everything I put into this channel, because if they're willing to support me on this much on a personal level, it massively allows me to keep the channel up. Didn't have any YouTube members, didn't have any patrons, wouldn't be doing this at all, and you wouldn't be watching this video here today. So if you'd like to come on these main people, click the join button or the link to the Patreon. And these people who already made that fantastic decision to help me get people into Age of Sigmar and continue their Age of Sigmar journey, and to help spread the community that we all love and enjoy, is going to be first my Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, who we should all know by now is Filq, who is my biggest supporter, amazing chap supporting me at that level. Huge personal support. I don't have to say, Filq, sort of like repay you on this, but really just a massive shout out in every one of my videos, because you truly deserve it. And please keep up that massive support. It really does make a huge difference. And then my Morgasts, who is Bleed Red. So thank you so much, Bleed Red, for being a Morgast such a long time. Makes a huge difference as well. And then my core, which just keeps the channel going, the main focus, is my vampires, who are Mir, Stence, Rouse321, David A, Dragoonity, Ronni H, Darren L, SpareBear, Christopher H, Northdrop, Nathan F, Andrew G, Wiggy Whooty, and Ben C, who is actually on the channel right now. Yep. So thank you very much for that, Ben. Very, very kind of you. Just thinking how much, you know, I'd have to pay you if this was working hours for you to come into the channel, and then you pay me in the month. But don't worry about that. No, thank you very much for that support there. And then we've got my Necromancers, of course, who is Jacq.l, RadiationRiley, AW77, Dice Sagas, WolfNick, Michal W, Cranky Wombat, Madcap, Christopher C, Christopher F, James S, Thomas B, Steve T, James T, Patrick F, JJ, R Christopher, and Sception. Thank you all for your continued support. Wasn't for you guys, wouldn't be able to keep this up. If anyone would like to be absolutely amazing, become a legend, click the join button, support the channel by just £1 a month, or click a link to my Patreon, support channel by just $1 a month. But if you can't do that, no worries at all, completely understand. But if you do enjoy the content, all I do ask is you smash the like button, subscribe button, bell notification. Like I said, it's all free and free clicks. You could have done that in a 20th of the time it's taken me to explain it, basically. But beyond all of that, the main thing I am happy with is that you came and checked out this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope at some point it managed to make you laugh or something like that. But my and Ben's reaction to all this madness, of all this news coming out for Warhammer Age Sigmar 3rd Edition. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much for watching. As always, remember until next time to stay safe, stay hygienic, wash your hands, wear a mask, because we can all confirm, you know, the science has shown this and makes you roll your dice better. That's what I've heard. That's the word on the street. But more importantly than all of that, so remember until next time that Nagash is all and all is one in Nagash. Hopefully, Beast of Chaos.
Bye, guys.
See you guys later.